Hi everyone, my name is Emma and today I'll be making Katsudon, so deep fried pork cutlets with egg over rice. If you like our videos, then make sure you subscribe and hit the notification button. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to deep fry the pork cutlets. You've seen me deep fry before. It's a very basic method. So what I've done so far is I've bashed out my pork cutlets just so that they're maybe 2 centimeters in thickness. I want quite a thick pork chop, but you can go thinner if you like. I've seasoned it with salt and pepper, and I've paned it as well using panko breadcrumbs. So that's Japanese breadcrumbs made from fluffy white bread, and that's what's going to give me that really crunchy exterior on the outside of my katsu, so my pork cutlet. I've got a pair of tongs, I've got a wire rack, I've got my hot oil, so now I'm going to start deep frying. I'll deep fry this for around 5 minutes, making sure to keep it moving. So my cutlet now is a nice golden brown on the outside, but I just want to make sure that the interior is cooked, so I'll leave that in there for maybe another minute, and then I'll take it out to rest. So Katsudon, the word comes from katsu curry, where you have a deep fried pork or chicken cutlet with a nice curry sauce and some rice. And then don comes from the word donburi, which means a bowl. So this is a pork cutlet bowl. And we're also going to make a delicious sweet dashi sauce and cook it with some egg as well. So it's a pork cutlet omelet rice. It's a very cozy and homey dish. I mean, what's not to love? A bit of pork, a bit of egg, rice, the dream. So my cutlet is a beautiful golden brown now. I'm going to take it out of the oil and let it rest on a drying rack. While the pork rests for a while, we're going to chop the vegetables and talk about our sauce. So as I said earlier, Katsudon is a deep fried pork or chicken cutlet with rice. Maybe you're familiar with Oyakodon, which is chicken and egg with rice, which means the parent and the child over rice. So think of the mother chicken and the baby egg. Whatever dish you're making, either it's the Oyakodon or the Katsudon, it will always have onion, thinly sliced onions, and then I like to add some spring onions as well. So with the onion, I'm just going to finely slice it. And then now with the spring onions, I'm just going to trim the head and the ends off, and then I'll slice it at an angle. Quite chunky slices. So the fresh ingredients in this dish are just onions, spring onions, and then I'm also going to whisk my eggs. Now we're going to make a sweet dashi-based sauce in the frying pan, and then we're also going to cook some barely set eggs in that sauce. You can use 1 or 2 eggs, up to you. And then you want to whisk the eggs until they're just combined. Now, in addition to the vegetables and the eggs, we're actually going to cook this pork chop right on top of the sauce as well. So you want to slice it into nice strips so that it's easier to eat when the sauce and the eggs are all done. Look at how juicy that pork cutlet is. Okay, now let's make the rest of the dish. So for the Katsudon, the sauce comes together very quickly and it's very easy. We're not actually going to fry off the onions. We're just going to cook the onions with the rest of the sauce. So just in a cold, empty frying pan. Again, you want a nice non-stick frying pan that isn't too big, otherwise the eggs might set a bit too quickly. So this is the perfect size for me. I'm going to add in my onions. I'm going to add some dashi stock. Now you don't need too much, maybe just a 1/4 cup or 1/3 of a cup. Just enough for your single serving of Katsudon. And then you're going to turn up the heat, and then I'm going to add a few other ingredients. So while the sauce is heating up, I'm going to add some mirin, I'm going to add some soy sauce. And then I'm also going to add a pinch of sugar. And then I'm going to let that slowly come up to a boil and just reduce slightly, maybe 5 minutes or so. While this sauce is bubbling away, I want to talk a little bit about the sauces that I just added into my frying pan. So dashi is made from dried fish flakes, bonito flakes, or katsubushi. Jeremy actually made dashi when he made miso soup, so you can check out our channel if you want to learn more about how to make your own dashi. Now that the sauce has been bubbling away for a few minutes, you want to taste it and adjust the seasoning. So I'll give it a taste. Sometimes dashi can be a little bit salty, so. I'm going to do a little bit more mirin. Now mirin is a sweet rice-based seasoning, so it's going to add sweetness and a depth of flavor into your dish. So just a little bit more mirin. So now that I have tasted my Katsudon sauce, I'm going to add the spring onions. Give it a quick mix. You don't want to cook this sauce for too long. You don't need the onions to cook away into a mush. You still want them to have a little bit of texture to it. Now that the sauce is barely bubbling, just at a medium heat, I'm going to add the cutlet right on top of the frying pan, right in the middle. And then I'm going to add the eggs all around the sides of the pork cutlet. Usually they do this all over, but I like the sides because I want the pork cutlet to stay quite crispy. So eggs, whisked eggs all around the sides. Cover it with the lid and let it steam and cook for somewhere between 3 to 4 minutes. You don't want the eggs to be too cooked. What you're looking for is a soft and barely set scrambled egg. You're not looking for hard, tough eggs. So the eggs have been steaming for around just 3 minutes. Lift the lid open, and that is what you're looking for. What you want is the eggs to be barely set. You still want a little bit of wiggle, because once that egg sits over the hot steamed rice, it's going to just melt and ooze through the rice. So what I have back here is I have some sushi rice that has been cooking away. If I was at home, I'd probably just use a rice cooker. But you want to use Japanese sushi rice. It's sticky and it's a short grain rice, so it'll taste really nice with this dish. So before my eggs overcook, I'm going to plate up my rice. So now that I've got a steaming bowl of sushi rice, I'm just going to slide this entire dish right over the top. Oh yeah, that is where the money is. Look at that. It's time to taste this katsudon now. I'm so excited to eat this. Okay, first with the katsu. It's so good. Okay. So now let's have some of the egg with the rice. The sweetness from the mirin is so nice with the rice, and I love a bit of runny egg. If we're talking about a hard scrambled egg or a barely set scrambled egg, I am team barely set scrambled egg. That's what I want to know in the comments. On the spectrum of how you like your eggs, are you on the team of, I like it fried, pretty scrambled, pretty dry, or are you on the team of very soft, scrambled, curdled eggs? Where are you on this egg spectrum? Thank you so much. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, turn the notifications on, and I'll see you next time on Flavour Fridays.